All right, y'all, let's get these vibes up. Let's go.
Unbelievable, hands down, number one, undefeatable. And the ground never fall, yeah, she queenable. Pussy power, yeah, something inconceivable. Cause the mother always down to ride. Put down your guns and prepare to vibe. Act on that love that you have inside. Oh no, we don't have to hide no more. I am the one shifting mountains.
Okay.
I am the one pulling tides.
Yeah.
I am the one booty bouncing. All organic, yeah, no pesticides. Cause we just wanna party. We just wanna collide.
Yeah.
We don't need your army. Cause we ain't never gonna die.
Get these vibes up, y'all.
I'm gonna jump in the fire, fire, fire.
Y'all feeling it?
Consciousness higher, higher, higher.
Pay attention to the words.
Rise with desire, desire, desire. To burn brighter. We burn brighter and brighter. Unbelievable.
Let's go.
One undefeatable. In the ground never fall, yeah, she queenable. Pussy power, yeah, something inconceivable.
Let's go, y'all.
Put down your guns and prepare to vibe. Act on that love that you have inside. Oh no, we don't have to hide no more. I am the one pulling planets.
Yeah.
I am the sun and the moon. I
Facts.
am the queen of
Let's
Atlantis.
go.
I am
Shout out to everybody that's in the stream today. B, I see you, boy. Appreciate you pulling up.
Move like you know we connected. I put my seeds in the dirt.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very enjoyable stream, y'all.
I'm coming for all I deserve, you heard.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, hands down, number one, undefeatable.
Facts.
And the ground never fall, yeah, she queenable.
Let's go.
Yeah, something inconceivable. 'Cause the mother always
Y'all
down
get
to
these
ride.
vibrations
Put down
up.
your guns and prepare to vibe. Act on that love that you
We
have
got some
inside.
very good information being shared today. I hope y'all enjoy it.
No more, we don't have to hide. No more. No more, we don't have to hide. No more.
Y'all don't hear that?
No more,
We don't have.
hide. No more.
Okay.
No more, we don't have to hide. No more.
Let's jump straight into it, y'all. All right. All right, all right, all right. Today's topic is Know Your History, which is the mystery. I wonder why. True natives, we've been here, and this is facts. So today's topic is going to be based on knowing your heritage, knowing where you came from. Because if you don't know where you came from, then there's no way that you'll know where you're going. In order to carry on the legacy or the loyalty of the legacy of your ancestors, you have to know where you came from in order to know where you're going. So we about to jump straight into it. Now, as you see right here, I pulled up Empire Washita. Underneath empirewashita.org. Right here you have Empress Thierry Verdesi, Washita attaining Ghosta El Bay, who was chartered back in 1993 to be the oldest indigenous civilization on Earth, to be recognized to be the oldest indigenous civilization on Earth. Now that's a major statement, y'all. That's a major statement. To be recognized back in 1993 to be the oldest indigenous people on Earth is a major statement. This statement alone shows you who you are. So I want everybody on the stream right now to ask yourself, who am I? Who are we? And where did I come from? And today, I hope that I'll be able to answer all these questions. Now, as you can see, she wrote a book that's called The Return of the Ancient Ones. She wrote a book called The Return of the Ancient Ones, y'all. And in this book, she explained a lot about your imperial genealogy and how this was the original tribe that all tribes came from. And this was before the so-called 12 tribes of Judah. So with that being stated, let us go into further and do more information on what this is based on. So it says right here, the Empire Washita D-Dawn the Maunya, which means the mound builders, the original mound builders, the period builders of a Mexum or Mother Gaia. These mound builders are the ones who originally built all of the pyramids that exist on Mother Gaia. Because did you know that this was the promised land and that Egypt was over here first and so was Jerusalem? Well, if you didn't know, you'll be able to go to one of my pages, Instagram, TikTok, and you'll be able to view the footage in which I will reveal sometime tomorrow based on the statement that I just gave and showing you that the promised land was always over here and that Egypt, Jerusalem, Morocco was a state over here before it was a country. All these things will be proven in that video to show that that is proof of the truth in which I am speaking. Also, if you want to get in contact with the tribe, you can get in contact with the tribe right here by joining them on the conference calls on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time. And the telephone number is 712-770-4160. 712-770-4160. And the access code is 895058 hashtag. 895058 hashtag. Why is this important? And why am I giving you this information? Well, the reason why this is important and why I'm giving you this information is so that you won't believe anything that I'm saying and you'll be able to tap in and speak to the Emperor, Frederick Joe Washita, and the Crown Prince yourself. I want to also make statement to know that the Washita Native American Moors, the Washita Nation, D-Dawn Demaya, is a matriarchic system, which means that they put women first. Because we know that the woman is God and that the woman was here first. As you can see, the matriarch right here in front of us, Empress Tory, is the one that revealed the imperial genealogy in order to correct the fake history, which is called his story, that they gave us so that we can reveal the mystery, which is my story or our story. How did she reveal this? She revealed this through imperial genealogy family tree. All right. So with no further ado, we're going to go into some YouTube videos. To see what Empress Tory had to say about this herself, and some other people who made statements about the actual incident as well. Y'all bear with me. I guess I'm just going to type. No, I should be able to do it like this. What is going on? This is not my history. Who's been in my... We'll just do it like that because I know I was just viewing this. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now pay attention, y'all. Appreciate that, B. As y'all can see, this is Empress Tory right here.
Your sister has been stolen from you. Your name, your future, your land, your rights. Then you have been given what someone else wants you to have. They help you in school, in books that they made for you to learn from.
We've been told that the first people who occupied America, the Native Americans, came here across the Bering Strait. But what if someone told you that when the Native Americans came across the Bering Strait, there were people already living here? These people had an established civilization that not only rivaled that of Egypt in its height, but is also much older. The Washita were on this land that we call America. So the Washita do not come from anywhere. We did not come to America from someplace else.
Thanks.
We were already here. We have always been here. Back to the time when scientists called the land Pangea, when it was one piece. So we have always been on this land.
I'm going to tell you about the regional people not only around the world, the regional people here in Louisiana, who are the oldest people on Earth.
Did y'all hear that?
On the planet, right here in Louisiana.
Did y'all hear that? Hold on. Let me pause there for a moment. I don't think y'all caught that. He stated that the oldest people on planet Earth is right there in Louisiana. Right there in Louisiana, y'all. Wow. Why wouldn't they been telling us this in, history class? Why didn't they tell us this in American history? Black history. Why isn't nobody talking about this? I want to know. Let's see what else he has to talk about.
Wow. Much love and respect to everybody that's tuned in. Thanks for being here once again. It's been a long time. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I had my reasons, but coming back strong. Hope you guys enjoy what I got today, this new series, and a lot of new content I got coming.
I'm gonna skip this a little bit, y'all.
Before we continue with the presentation, that a lot of about the Washita Moorish nation. All right, so we're gonna.
This is strictly from her book.
Video, like I said, we're gonna discuss
Return of the Ancient Ones.
the Moorish Washita history. One of the main sources a lot of people send me is this book right here. They've been sending me this book for the longest time. I've read the book. So I wanted to give you my opinion on it. I want to be able to go ahead and see if we can prove what's in it, not just to prove it just because we just want to prove somebody right or wrong, but it's just so we can have a true history, an accurate story, something we could actually look up, with historical documents, genealogy maybe, primary sources from that time, what they're saying. So, what is truth, what part is conjecture, what part is doctrine, what part is Nuwabian, what part is scripture.
Did y'all hear that?
Writing.
What part is Nuwabian? That is because the Washita Native American Moor is where the Yamasee Native American Moors branched off from. How many of y'all know about the Yamasee border wars that started in South Carolina and ended in Savannah, Georgia? How many of y'all knew about that? Yeah, they warfares is the original natives. Yeah. And they were dark, melanated people. How many of y'all knew about that? So here again, it's showing and proving that the Washita Native American Moors is the first original tribe. before the 12 tribes of Judah. So if anything, if the 12 tribes of Judah is true, then they must have had descended from the Washita. Moving on.
What part is actual historical information you can look up, so that's what we're gonna try to break down. Again, this ain't to try to make to go at anybody or any people, any nation or any organization. It's just so we can try to get a clear understanding of it if we can. And this book is called Return of the Ancient Ones. All right, the true history uncovered of the Wachita de Dugahmodian Empire. Empress Vertiachi.
You did not pronounce that right. The Washita Didon Demaya.
The state of Louisiana was originally stolen and illegally sold as the Louisiana Purchase. The land is the stolen property of the ancient Black Wachita Empire.
Did y'all hear that? It states right here, right in front of your eyes, and you can purchase this book from the tribe. You can purchase the book from the tribe. If you get on the conference calls on Sunday at 8 o'clock, you can get Frederick Joe Washita and purchase this book to see it for yourself. It will cost you probably around like $50, but it's worth it when you see everything that it will reveal. And it states right here that the state of Louisiana was originally stolen and illegally sold as the Louisiana Purchase. Now, why do you think that was stated? That was stated because the only thing that they actually purchased was the French quarters in New Orleans. Everything else was illegally sold and stole. The land is the stolen property of the ancient Black Washita Empire, the ancient ones. So let's continue on.
The ancient ones.
Let's go.
Right? The ancient ones, the Wachita file, it says here. So the ancient ones. So anybody.
We are the ancient ones.
Right? So Wachita.
You are the ancient
ones. And then we
ones.
got here black. We got a crayon color here. So we know what they mean. We know the ancient indigenous people maybe of this area of Louisiana. The old inhabitants of this area of Louisiana is what I'm interpreting from it. So is it just about them? Is it the story just about the ancient inhabitants of this area of the world, Louisiana? Or what exactly are they talking about? So those are the kind of things I want to look into. Let me see if we can get zoomed in right here a little bit. It says, Return of the Ancient Ones, the true history uncovered of the Wachita de Dugahmodian Empire. It says here by Vertiachi Tiara, Wachita Turner Ghostin El Bay, Empress of the Wachita Nation. And this is back from 1993.
1993, right? Y'all.
So, a lot of the times I get a lot of people, come at me in the comments and the videos that I do and upload. And, they come with this idea or these teachings, doctrines, cultural background from like a perspective from 1993, like in this book, right? So let's say a person reads this book in 1993 and just keeps reading it for the next 20, 30 years, only, and they didn't advance from there, or didn't try to connect other things or try to see if what can be factual, what can be proven. So a lot of times I respond to people, why we're not in 1993, we try to be able to at least research, investigate it on our own, with our own knowledge, with our own oral history, with what the new information that's coming out. We gotta sometimes empty our cup and
refill it
maybe
back
there
up.
was something missing there. Maybe there's a deeper understanding that needs to go on here, and again, I'm just an individual and I'm not coming at anybody. I'm just trying to show
now let's try to fast forward.
So now Solomon, now we're talking about Solomon from the Bible, right? Solomon, now we're talking about scripture. We're adding Old Testament, all right? Trying to tell the whole truth without polishing it up a bit, to get the sound effect that suits his lying fancy, to mislead his readers. There lies spells Washita. The Washita nation are a black, so that's a crayon color, right? We're black.
That says Washita.
Bushy-headed people like Solomon, who was black. All right, so now Solomon.
Bushy-headed people, y'all.
Solomon from the Bible, right? Solomon, now we're talking about scripture.
Word.
We're adding Old Testament beliefs here, right? So it's okay. I rock with Solomon. So bushy-headed people. All right, so were they all bushy-headed people? All right. And
Now y'all pay attention. Bushy-headed people. I wonder who he talking about. In Solomon too? And we already know Yahshua ben Massey was too. Right? And they all were descendants of who? Abraham, supposedly, right? But we know that we didn't come from this planet. So we know our history goes back way further than that. But let's continue.
His head was bushy, so now Solomon was bushy too. Most likely, I recommend you read Songs of Solomon 1:5 and 6. His head, chapter 5:11. When the exploiters came, we were already here. All right, so somehow the Solomon, that verse in Solomon is related to them being there, anciently. All right, when God created Adam, he was smart enough. Yes, he invented reading and writing, as his creator was a writer. So we are now, Adam and Eve, right? The story of the first people in the Garden of Eve, this is biblical, right? This is Genesis. So this is scripture, right? They're using Bible here, right? Adam wrote the books of Adam, Genesis 5:1, all right? So we're talking about the books of Adam. We're talking about the apocryphal books, I guess. I know I'm down. I've read the apocryphal books of Adam. It says Genesis 5:1. God wrote the commandments on a table.
Now he's a hater, y'all. Y'all can tell that he really dislikes this book and everything the Empress Thierry has revealed, in that she's using biblical scripture in order to back what she's saying. But so is Dr. Hindu Henderson L., who's over the BRICS nations, if y'all know anything about that. Moving on.
Of stone, when he wrote a pattern or the blueprint on how to build a mound for our people. That was very interesting right there. All right, so now we're talking about Moses. All right, and we're talking about commandments, the 10 commandments, keeping the code. We're talking about keeping the code. This is all Old Testament, right? The Torah, right? Scripture. So we're using scripture, right? Just want to be clear, we're using scripture right now as the source of the start of the history, right? So now the mounds, all right? Now that makes sense to me, the mounds, because I know that in the scripture, since we're using scripture, I know that the Israelites and many other people built on top of high places. They built their temples and stuff in high places.
Moving on, let's get further into this.
Black, all right? So-called black. So what does all this mean? What is the missing link? All men came from a black pair, all right? Black. However, the most educated would rather
These are facts.
That he came from a monkey, all right, without explaining who made the monkey. The white lies about the missing link stinks, all right? So yeah, definitely, I don't come from a monkey, all right? Definitely
not.
That Darwinism stuff, I don't subscribe to that, so we can agree on that. All right. What Columbus did find was a city of black people who fed him and gave him gifts, all right? Crayon-colored people, right? Copper-colored tribes of America.
So, it was stated that Columbus found black people, and they don't reveal the fact that he had a Moor on the boat with him. And if it wasn't for that Moor on the boat that was on the boat with him, that he sent out to come communicate with the people who looked like the people of the land and spoke the language of the people of the land, then he would have never been able to step foot on that land. So know that too as a truth. You can research it yourself.
Gold and cotton cloth, because when the Columbus actually got here, he describes the natives, right? Very similar to the Canary Islanders. Gold and cotton cloth, which the blacks had manufactured. I can imagine his surprise. All right. What in the world is that skating across that water? A big fish, a skiff, or what? That must have been the question. Men, black, where are we? Back in Africa? That must have been their reply. So again, must have been, so a lot of this is conjecture, right? So where did Columbus and any of them say they were in Africa, right? They were always saying they were either in Asia or India, right? They thought they were in Asia and India. That was the story, right?
That's what his
So again,
story says.
A lot of
Let's move on.
Pietro el Negrito, that is Peter the N-word, right? The pilot or navigator of the lead ship came on deck to take control. No one bowed to the sailors, as history tells us.
Skip on,
so
y'all.
who's really got the narrative? So who's to say who's really right? Anybody can tell the story.
He's a hater.
But we do have a lot of heavy
The Washita Moors have not gone anywhere. We've not disappeared. We're still here. Part of American history that most people want to talk about, but beyond just American history, the Washita, we have our own history. The history of the Moors is there. It's been twisted and distorted, and it's just murky legends and the stories that kind of hide the evidence of the Washita and the Moors. The evidence of the Washita is very prevalent. It's just not being promoted and being taught in the education system.
Of course
No one
not.
wants to talk about a race of people who were here, civilized, organized, and giant black people.
The Washita are the dark-skinned original inhabitants of
Picture
North and
that.
South America. They have been referred to
Look at those
as
mounds,
the
y'all.
pre-Columbian civilizations,
Beautiful
the
mounds.
prehistoric mound builders, the diggers, and the ancient ones.
Look melanated to me.
Certified legal documents of colonial and Spanish and French explorers identified
What
the
you think?
Washita as the ancient occupants of America. The Washita Nation are akin to the Moors of Northwest Africa and are responsible for building the highly advanced geometric earthworks and sacred burial mounds found all over this continent.
People always ask, who are the mound builders? When did they exist? The mound builders are the indigenous original inhabitants of North and South America. The mound builders did not exist in a vacuum at one time period. We have always been here, and we shall always be here.
Facts.
Modern science teaches that all the continents on the earth were once connected in one piece of land. They call it Pangea. Washita history actually says the same thing as do the scriptures. The Washita, the indigenous people of this land that we now call
I got you.
America,
I got you, B.
were on this land when it was connected in one piece. When this land was connected to what is now called Africa.
Y'all hear that?
Poverty Point, located in Pioneer, Louisiana, near Monroe, is recognized as the second largest.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all ain't paying attention, are y'all? Are y'all paying attention? She just said somewhere in Louisiana is where some type of historic people were found. Let's see what he's talking about.
Documents of colonial and Spanish and French explorers identified the Washita as
Conquistadors.
the ancient occupants of America. The Washita Nation are akin to the Moors of Northwest Africa
The
and are
Olmecs.
responsible for building the highly advanced geometric earthworks and sacred burial mounds found all over this continent.
People always ask, who are the mound builders? When did they exist? The mound builders are the indigenous original inhabitants of North and South America.
The
mound builders
original
did not
indigenous
exist in a vacuum at one
inhabitants.
time period. We have always been here, and we shall always be here.
Modern science teaches
Facts.
that all the continents on the earth were once connected in one piece of land. They call it Pangea.
Pangea.
Washita history actually says the same thing as do the scriptures. The Washita, the indigenous people of this land that we
Y'all
now
see it?
call America, were on this land when it was connected in one piece. When this land was connected to what is now called Africa. Poverty Point, located in Pioneer, Louisiana, near
Poverty
Monroe,
Point.
is recognized as the second largest earthen pyramid in North America. This ancient site, called the Great Bird Mound by the natives, was a cultural center for the
I didn't know
advanced
that.
temple, mound, pyramid civilization. Poverty Point, as it is currently called, is located in northeastern Louisiana, in Washita Parish, in the city of what is now called Monroe, or near Monroe. The Washita refer to it as the Bird Mound because there is a very large earthen mound in the shape of a bird with outstretched wings. In some places, it measures 70 feet high. The wingspan of the bird is 640 feet, and it actually measures 710 feet from the head to the tail. At the base of the bird, at the foot, there are 6 concentric ridges composed of earth, and the Washita actually had their homes located on these ridges that at one time measured as high as 5 feet.
In a Western education world, Poverty Point has been identified as the oldest community in North America. In that Poverty Point was a complete city in construction. Its dynamics, its
Y'all heard that? Poverty Point is considered to be the oldest civilization or city in North America. That's a major statement.
the civil engineering that went to design the city has been copied for thousands of years, and the community is in the shape of a concentric rings, several concentric rings, and these rings are duplicated over and over again in the U.S. Congress, where the seats are laid out, in the Roman Senate. You go to most entertainment venues, a theater, there you'll find that modern day theaters that are acoustically designed are in the same formation as Poverty Point.
Facts.
And
I
Poverty
didn't think
Point
about
being
that.
a place that is known to be as old as, or as young as, 12 centuries before the birth of Christ. When you speak of Poverty Point,
Poverty
of a
Point.
time
Why they picked that name, y'all?
wasn't supposed to exist. Poverty Point, at its height, not at the beginning, but at its height, was at least 1,000 years before any agriculture was supposed to have occurred in North America. So Poverty Point has served as an anomaly for years when scientists came in and archaeologists came in and argued that there's no way this could exist. If archaeologists go and do research, they don't even have a name for the time period that they find artifacts at Poverty Point. And what's more, at Poverty Point, not only did they find artifacts there that would date back 1,000 years, but they were enduring years, and that these people showed a legacy of continuous occupation at Poverty Point. In that, I mean that they would do research and they would dig down 1 foot, and they might find something that was 4,000 years old. They might just find something 5,000 years old. Further
Right.
down, 6,000 years old. So here you have evidence of a legacy of continuous occupation.
A commonly known place right here in Baton Rouge, the Indian Mounds on LSU campus, is actually a Washita site that predates Poverty Point.
We know that history has taught us in Western culture that Indians were a group of hunter-gatherers who supposedly came across the Bering Straits about 12,000 years ago and inhabited North America. And I'm here today to tell you that the mounds are not the product of an Indian culture. They're the product of the indigenous people, the original mound building, pyramid building,
Facts.
woolly head, black people. Here today at LSU would explore some of the common history and mythology about the origin of the original civilizations in North America. Here the sign reads, hunter-gatherers built these 2 mounds 5,000 years ago. It goes on to read, they are older than the great Egyptian pyramids and predate Poverty Point, long believed to have been the oldest earthen mounds in North America. So here we have evidence once again of slight contradiction, but it's good.
What did it
because
say
says
about it? Egypt?
They are
What did it say, y'all?
pyramids and predate the Egyptian pyramids in Egypt.
Oh, hold on. Did y'all hear that? He just said that these particular mounds and pyramids predate the Great Pyramids in Egypt, which is in, I think, Gaza. That they predate the Great Pyramids in Egypt, y'all. Let's go back and hear that one more time.
But Indian culture, they're the product of the indigenous people, the original mound building, pyramid building, woolly head, black
That's
people.
crazy.
Here today at LSU would explore some of the common history and mythology about the origin of the original civilizations in North America. Here the sign reads, hunter-gatherers built these 2 mounds 5,000 years ago. It goes on to read, they are older than the great Egyptian pyramids and predate Poverty Point, long believed to have been the oldest earthen mounds in North America. So here we have evidence once again of slight contradiction, but it's good because it says they are pyramids and predate the Egyptian pyramids in Egypt.
Okay, before it's over, we
Major
right home to
statement.
Baton Rouge, okay, and show you some of the oldest people on the planet right here. Okay, so right now, who do you know are the oldest people on the planet? Who's that? Who? Adam and Eve? They rest. They rest. They rest. Okay. So, how old is Adam and Eve? Is that Adam and Eve? Was Eve named Day? Okay.
Don't do
Let's
that to
deal
him.
with
Older than Adam and
people
Eve, y'all?
in North America, right here.
They'll go to Olmecs.
Olmec head. Remember the Olmec head?
Olmecs.
Olmecs are thought to be some of the oldest people in North America. We're going to deal with this concept right here. The hidden history of black civilizations in America, okay? There are several civilizations of black people that were right here long before slaves were brought over here, long before any Indians came across the ocean, long before any European explorers came across the ocean. There were a civilization of ancient black people in North America. History records the Olmecs as being the oldest civilization here. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some other people here. Of course, we heard about history, about Christopher Columbus. We've given Christopher Columbus our whole life. We know that this is a lie. Okay? There are several books about this. I'm going to discuss Christopher Columbus. This is not true. Okay? One thing is not true. Let's go on.
We know that. If you don't know that by now, you lost.
The African Holocaust, the slave trade. That's part of our history. The slave trade is not our history. We did not
Facts.
do the slave trade. We were victims of the slave trade. The slave trade is the history of Europeans,
Listen, y'all.
people up here, exploiting people down here. Okay? These people up here came out of the Ice Age and began to colonize these people and take all of our resources, okay? Then you have the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa is the only continent on the planet that is set into the soil, into the ground. All of the continents, South America, North America, Australia, Greenland, all these continents drift. Africa is set in the ground. Okay? Next. This is the way it was at the beginning of time. All these are what's connected. Can you see how South America fits perfectly into Africa? You have right here North America and Africa fitting together. My grandmother in California talked about we ain't come from Africa. My grandmother was 6'3" woman, long hair. She came from what they call the territory, Oklahoma. She always talked about we was more than that. We was more than just African. We was more than just slaves. Okay, go next. Next, one more time. My grandma took the time when the planet was called Mu.
Mu. Okay. And
Today,
Lemuria.
European accounts of Lemuria, Atlantis, all these lost civilizations. We don't know who they were.
Y'all know about that.
Next. And of course, we have Africa. Next. Ancient word for Africa,
Mexo.
a Moorish word, is a Mexo. Next. A Kinaman is the indigenous name for the continent we know as Africa. This is the name long before any European named Africa Sipicanus renamed our continent.
El Kibu line.
Here you have Egypt. Egypt is a Greek word. Egypt
Facts,
is a Greek
y'all.
word. We say Greek word because if
He
you
exposing
understand
their
what
ass.
the Greeks were the first civilization recognized in
Tameri.
Europe up here. Okay? Next. Ultimately, you'll find that the very first people, Great West, the oldest one on the planet, 3.1 million years old. 3.1 million. This might be a problem for some people because I grew up in the church. I was talking about Adam and Eve being the first people on the planet. Adam and Eve. If you listen to any theological scholar, religious scholar, they'll tell you Adam and Eve was roughly 67,000 years old.
It don't add up, y'all.
67,000 years old, we have a black woman, 3.1 years old, okay? And I guarantee you she had a mother and a father also. And of course, we have Europe. Europe is one of the newest cultures on the planet, okay? When we talk about Europe, we talk about the Caucasians, and we're taught oftentimes right here, this is where Iraq and Iran is, okay? But do a little bit of geography for people who are not up in the geography. Iraq and Iran are right here. We're taught that this is the cradle of civilization.
Lie.
Mesopotamia, the Tigris Euphrates rivers, okay? Yeah, we know that the people here were here for thousands of years. Ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, Tameric. We have our ancient ancestors tell us that the oldest people in the planet came to our zenith in Egypt. We actually began down here, because we began the Nile River, the foot of the mountain of the moon, which is called Mount Kilimanjaro. So understand, the oldest people on the planet come from here, and if you're black or white, you're African American in America, okay? All the people on the planet started here. So understand the time when the world was like this, Lex. The Washita people, who are the Washita people? The Washita people are some of the oldest people on the planet. We were here in North America, next, right here, before the continents drifted apart. Understand, all these people right here, all this land here was once one landmass. People here did not need a boat.
Wake up, y'all.
In history, we're taught constantly that somebody had to get a boat and go from over here to over there. The world is flat. Understand that at one point you didn't have to catch the boat and go across over here.
Facts.
The Washita here, when the earth was called Mu, and when the people were called Moors, okay? Moors. So there they say the word Moor, they spell it with two O's, Moor. It comes from the Latin word Moor, M-A-U-R-O, Maro, Maro. It's a word that simply means black people. A lot of people want to argue they want to be black, Negro, all these different names. And ultimately, Negro is what? A Spanish word for what? Ultimately,
Negro,
black people.
Which
when
means
it comes
black.
Time, when we're getting
they just
jacked
couldn't
up,
pronounce
or
it because they
abused,
had
or
lazy
exploited in some
tongues.
way, we need to become black. I am a Moor. Are there any Moors in the house today? We're all the Moors. We're all the Moors. Okay? Next. Then you have the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the more Mayans, the Olmecs. Here is where we're taught the first people in North America existed. Up here you have the Washita proper. Do you think it's possible that the people here happen to meet the people up here? It's possible, huh? Okay, next. Here you have, what's this right here? Where are we at right here? Washita. That's the Washita people, right? What's right there behind there? What's right here? We got Lake Pontchartrain, huh? We got New Orleans. Now who they say was here? The Washita people? The Chawasha? We got the Wichita up here, okay? We got let's not see this Kushata? That is called Kushata. The Kushata people, okay? Tunica, Natchez, Biloxi, all these are indigenous people, indigenous black people. All this land here is Washita.
Y'all hear that?
If you ever got a map of the United States, you have the Washita River flowing here, up to the Washita Forest, over to the Washita Mountains. You also have the Washita River, the Red River, which runs this way, and there's up the Washita River right here, okay? The Washita River. When they had the Great Trail of Tears, and the military came in and made all of the Indians get off their land over next.
So that was about
Get off
us.
their land over in Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. They took them all into Oklahoma, into the Washita.
This land currently remains a free and sovereign land, protected by the national and international law, as provided for in the Maison Rouge and the Bastrop land grants. Her Highness, Vertice Tiari, Washita Turner, Gaston L. Bay, the current reigning Empress of the Washita de Damandia. The Washita Turner family waged a very long legal battle in the American courts to secure the Washita land protected by the grants. Many of us, as we learn our identity, who we are fully embracing that knowledge and also acting upon that knowledge, acting to actually come together again as a cohesive group of people, as a nation.
I just want y'all to know I haven't watched this either. It's my first time.
Ownership of our land. One of the main points
But I'm familiar with all this information.
emphasize about the Washita
Some of
is
them
that
not.
we are still here. Some of the larger community here in America would like to have people believe that the indigenous people of this land no longer exist, or that they are all
No, that's
Indians
right. So
tucked
they can
away
steal it.
on reservations somewhere, when actually we are still very much here. We have
Facts.
always been here.
Always, y'all. We've
All
always
right,
been here.
so again,
And
we're gonna
that's
read
it.
from many
I'm going to get out of there,
websites.
y'all. So with that being stated, let us go back to Empire Washita and check some things out. I don't know what's up with this right here. Y'all had to bear with me. This is annoying. I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay, so we got Empire Washita, the down the Maya right here, 11 years ago, and this looks like Empress Thierry right here. So let's go to that, and we'll go to the one that's 5 years ago too. Okay, so that's where their headquarters is at, right in San Pedro, California. Ain't no way. So they raided their spot, y'all.
Okay, now
Here go the sister. Here go the goddess.
I've never had to ask anybody for any funds because I've always had some. So before you get here for the convention, the tents is already up. Everything is already up. The potable toilets are already here and paid for. But when you get here, so whatever funds I go in to do that, when you pay for your registration, I can always put it back. But I already have the money to get the tents and things before you get here. I don't have to wait until you come to put up the tents. And it costs a pretty penny to put up those big circus tents. And to get you 6 portable toilets out here in order to have a place to go. The food and everything be already here because we have a fund. Now we don't have a fund because the government have come here and took all the money.
You see
And we
this?
don't have a fund to do that.
Y'all see how they been doing our people?
Money to go overseas. Everybody knows that we go overseas the last week in July. We don't have any money to go overseas with now. Then we don't even have any money to file. We got to go overseas twice this year because we got to go overseas once to file a lawsuit.
It's crazy, man.
And we probably need to raise funds to get another building separate from here so we can at least work a while in a place that's not bugged.
It's not bugged, y'all. So they was spying on this goddess.
And it's time for our people. There's people that could give. Some people can't give but $25. Some people can't give but $10. Some people can't give but $100. But there's some people can give thousands of dollars. We need those kind of gifts right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm telling you what they took from one place. I don't even know what they took out the office. I know there were some checks that hadn't been cashed in the office and they got those.
Thieves. Look how long they've been stealing from our people. This is a shame, man.
Yes, ma'am.
But I know what they took from me. They took some $40-some thousand.
Y'all hear that?
They took
40K.
$10,000 of my husband's fund that was my emergency fund. The $10,000 was money I was raising for the bank. The $40,000 was money I was raising for the bank. And
For the private bank.
for
Washita
our
Home.
bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And the
That's why they did it. They didn't want y'all to own your own bank.
$10,000 for one brother that he had left here, and $300 for one sister that she had left here. I had already separated that out of my emergency funds and put it in little bags for them, like
I
I
got to
do
get
for
out of there,
anyone when
y'all.
they come here.
This got me upset. The way they did that. I didn't even know about that, and I be on the conference calls. And let's see. It look like this may be talking about the land. This is short. Probably from one of the brothers.
Out taking in nature, relaxing, getting my studies in, reading.
The Return of the
listening to
Ancient
all
Ones.
the peaceful sounds, waters flowing, birds chirping,
Beautiful.
nice breeze, taking in the spiritual essence of the mounds.
Okay. So he in Richwood, Monroe.
Visit the area like this should do so. It will change you.
In which the lady you just seen, Empress Thierry, had funded or founded. Alright, let's get out of here. And let's go back to this. And so let's see if we can find anything else that would be sufficient before I end this live stream. But before I do that, I have a couple of more things that I want to go over. Not over there. What is he doing that for? Oh, okay. Here it goes right here. The convention from Richwood, Louisiana, the city of Richwood. King Louis the, what it is, 17th of France. Let's read that. I can't. Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about that. Let's see right here. All right, this is this Wikipedia definition of Richwood, Louisiana, which was funded by Empress Thierry Verdesi Elbe. Richwood is a town in Ochicota Parish, Louisiana, United States. The town was incorporated December 31st, 1974, under the provision of Louisiana Revised Statute 3352. The town operates under a form of government consisting of an elected mayor and a board of elder persons, which has 5 elected members. The town provides garbage collection, street maintenance, draining maintenance, and other health and welfare services, in addition to administrative services provided to its residents. The population was 3,392 at the 2010 census. This town, y'all, was founded by Empress Thierry Verdesi Elbe, and was there to be established, and still is there to be established as a tourist site for the indigenous people to go spend time, visit, and pay their respects to their ancestors as well. Like I was stating about the tribe, right now, I think her son, Frederick Joe Washita, is about like 80 some years old. I'm in contact with the brother. Very beautiful brother. It's known that love is law in the Washita. And another thing it states, like over here, it says, say our land, imperial law is love, true peace, freedom, and justice. And she is no longer the empress. Her grandbaby is, or her granddaughter, who is Wendy Farika Washita. And then you have a crown prince. They have their own imperial courts. They also have their own imperial government. This is their flag. And the name of their government is called the Throne. And it's all governed by black people, melanated black people, Moorish melanated black people, or Moorish Americans. With that being stated, we know that the Moors, in the history of the Moors, are not the oldest doctrines based on our history, because we know we come from Sirius B, which some people say Sirius X, because back in the Dugon tribe, when they documented the visitors from Sirius B, they put it down as an X. So whether if you want to say Sirius X or Sirius B, we know that we come from another star constellation, and those people who were amongst Orion's star constellation, which were the Anunnaki or the Neturu or Netiret, came from the 19th galaxy, from a planet called Risk, into the 18th galaxy, which is this galaxy, which is the Milky Way galaxy. And the borderline between the 19th galaxy and the 18th galaxy is the Orion's star constellation and Orion's belt. Why do you think in the movie Man in Black, why do you think they were always so specific about Orion's belt? And Orion's belt was supposed to be around a cat, and we know the science of a cat because we know that cats are gods and will worship as gods in Egypt. Why you think my name is Cat Eyes? I'm a cat. And did you know that this is the year of the cat? Is that a coincidence? No, I don't think so. So the more that you wake up and realize that even our history goes even further than the Washita Native American Moors, because those who seeded life on earth and gave us their blood were melanated people too, as well, came from another galaxy. And this was talked about by Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam in the book called The Mother Plan. And it was also talked about by Dr. Malachi Z. York in the Holy Tablets and all of the rest of the scrolls in which he produced after that. So know your history, true natives. And don't listen to his story. Learn the mystery, which is your story. And I hope that this conversation helped somebody today and that somebody received something from it. And if you did, don't contribute it to me, contribute it to the source. So with that being stated, namaste. I love y'all. Peace and love, peace and light. I'm sending you all the peace and love and peace and light that you need. Receive it. Happy to. Why, Dao. I love y'all, Soul Tribe.